ride.
G'day race fans, it's Adrian here, and welcome back to Just a Ride. G'day guys, how are we? So episode 7, this is really just a bit of a loose ends, tidy up, final fixing. And now the frame is, the engine is in the frame. There's a bit missing here. So that is at a good buddy of mine, Simon's, who is a computer numerically controlled human. He's a CNCer, and he is sorting me out with the with those issues that I've got here. So I think I've got an idea. These are my two spaces. My idea is having to take a bit off of one of those spaces and then create a sleeve that works in between the internal diameter of this and the external diameter of my existing spacer that my existing axle that I have to use. So I'll have a chat to my CNC buddy about that. And the next issue is my brake caliper relocator spacer. So obviously that's a fork leg bolt there, and I've got another one there, and that's just in space. You know what I'm saying? So and that's the right orientation too. That the disc fits in there well. There's a little cutout here. The disc fits through there. It's all symmetrical and in line and in the same radius. I just need to, yeah. So first dummy up. It's actually the first time I've got the axle in too, even though it's flopping around like a sleeve of wizard. Obviously the internal diameter of these spaces need to change. This is the first time I've had my caliper on the brake caliper spacer that came with the wheels. Indiana gave me that, bloody legend. It looks alright. Obviously I've got, see this bolt here that's going to hold a caliper on. That is just in space. So there's an adjustment that has to happen with that spacer. Just laying on the floor, as you do. You know, and just some, like I said, final fixings and bibs and bobs. Okay, this was the best that I could get, guys. It is a bit plain Jane, just steel. It was one of those, the number of teeth that I were chasing was the very ultimate determining factor as to which one I purchased. I would have loved to have a wee, gaily coloured orange socket or something, sprocket. Anything other than plain, but like I said, it was a 40. Yeah, 42. Phew. So that's what Indiana had on the wheels I bought. It's a 48. Have a go at it. Let me just get these ridgy-dig. Booyah. Different much? Yes, please. Let's get this on the wheel. I bought a chain roller as well. Ow! Take your eye out with that. The old chain rollers, they just go onto the frame. The original one, literally was nothing left. It was just a pair of bearings and a spacer on a bolt on the frame.
I do have a couple of these. Well, I had a couple of these. I actually have one of these spare, which is just an expendable item that I used, you know, when I still have the 250 SX. So I used one of my spares on the EXC, and I had to get another one. So chuck that on as well. Okay, I've given that area a nice little clean up with some steel wool, as is my want. And the fact that, you know, it's about to get covered up for potentially a long time. You want it to start its life clean. My bolts are down there, and they're all pre-thread locked, ready to go into place. If there's ever a couple of fastenings on a motorcycle that you really don't want coming loose, rear sprocket would be one of them. I think the rear sprocket would be a close second to front brake. You know what I'm saying? List of things you don't want to come loose. It's actually a pretty long list. I mean, it's everything, isn't it? And there we go. Wow, that is so much smaller than what was on it. This excites me. I hope you're all on the same wavelength as I am in relation to this wee sprockito. This is a road-going super motard. This is not a punchy, you know, supercross bike that I want up the face of a jump, you know, like. This is just going to be the, it's only 5 years too, even on the L250 SX. The amount of times I've looked for 6th gear on that bloody bike, if I had $1 for every time, I'd be a bloody millionaire. So I know too well that you're going to be looking for 6th on this EXC Motoard as well. So that's what this 40 is all about. You know, when it comes out factory standard as 48s or 49s, I think. Like I said, I took a 48 off it. This was the smallest number that I could find, 40. So, lost your license. So, chain roller has to go on. Yeah, swinging arm has to be detached from the motorcycle to do the bloody chain roller. Isn't that a bugger? Wish I had a bit of foresight and I would have done this earlier. So it's just a 10mm bolt that holds this little bearing in, and the chain, when it does get up to that area, when it, you know, there's suspension trouble, it just guides the chain onto the front sprocket. But yeah, like I said, I've sort of still got the some of the wiring plumbed up. Could not be asked disconnecting that, so it was just a case of loosening the swing arm. Sorry, the subframe bolts. Get it out of the way. Get this cinched up. Get it tight. That's rolling beautifully. So the other spare that I said I had in my 250 SX spare kit, that spare roller went under here on the other side of the side stand. All right, fresh rollers, fresh slides, fresh guides. So fresh and so clean. It's like a Hollywood dolly is the red steel. Well, she's a bit shopping trolley-esque. Here we go. Okay. Oh, if I could get off the sill, I got it. Bloody hell. There we go. Steady cam. Have a go at how little of the sprocket is actually engaging in this chain slide. I'm all cool. No issue. Chain will still run through there.
it's just a shame there's these weren't slotted, these holes, you know, and you could bring it back and forth. You can't. They ain't slotted. So that's cool. Looks pretty though. All right, it's orange. Please. Matchy match match. And I'm on the new little roller. You probably can't see it. Bloody sun. New rollers. You stand. I actually double checked this. You know, there was a initially I thought I was gonna have to shorten that. And it turns out I don't think I do. Because what I have here is the bloody legend Indiana, whom I bought the wheels off, gave me a spare stand to sort of knowing that I was motarding this bike, and that was going to have to be changed. So this is the original. Look how much longer the original is than my black and orange aftermarket. So that tells me that does not have to be modified, and I ain't changing it one bit. Nice. With Rice. Tony Rice. Oh, we got some ants in the mailbox. All good. The ants are gone. Oh, nice. Let's just get that over there. Yeah, boy. So, God bless the modern day motorcycle. For those who can remember my last build, I had to go aftermarket and then attach an aftermarket piece of kit onto an existing wiring harness. That is not the case. That is just going to be click and play. Ha 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 ha. Nice. All the bells and all the whistles. Without a sticker though, just quietly. You guys would have noticed that. I hope you did. Okay, time for a new switch block assembly. As you can see, bits of the bike are missing because they're at the machine shop. Huh? Okay. So I've got the old one still attached. So I have to take the old one off. And just get these little rubber boots are always a bugger, aren't they? There we go. There's that off. And I'll give up your bounty. Old one. New one. So for those of you guys who did witness the last build that I did, if you can recall back to part 13, not fun. And that was basically what I was trying to achieve here. That's in. Push the boot back on. There we go. Okay, one new switch block assembly connected. Show's over. That's it. We're all done here. Happy days. Alright, that's done. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? No greater insurance policy, I think, than
putting one of these guys on a bike. It's been sitting there a while. For those of you of the observant type would have noticed that. It's time to use it now. Little consumer awareness tip as well, guys. I have purchased one of these in the past and it came to me and there was no display on it at all. And I thought, oh, that's a little strange. Oh, I'm sure it'll come to life once I wire it up and there's energy flowing through it. That wasn't the case, sir. So if you see one that doesn't have the display on, when it's in the pack, leave it on the shelf. Let's get this on the bike. Okay. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. The beauty of having a similar modelled bike also in the garage, the 250 SX. I just went over and had a look as to where I mounted the last one. It was about here. So, exactly what I'm doing. All right, we're done now. Perfect. Job's a good one. You're a bloody mug. Just want to get a bit of a punch in here so I can start that drill bit healthy and successful and not make a real mess of the frame. This is always a little bit apprehensive, isn't it? I'm about to punch the frame, now drill a hole in it. Oh, good times. For those of you who are squeamish, look away. Oh, that definitely made an impression. I'm sorry. Hey? All right, that's the first chapter of the horror story. This is the second chapter. Oh, into the frame, right next to the headstand too. Awesome. Got it. Always good to have a sharp drill bit. Got it. Alrighty out. Let's clean the filth here. Okay. Always a good idea. I did it on the 250 SX. I got one of those little 3M sticky tabs, and I just kind of helped it along, you know. So excuse me whilst I root through my shit and try and find one of those little 3M sticky tabs. Got my little command strips on. Only had the really thin one, so I've just got a whole bunch of them there. Here is the wire that gets housed in the back of that and then runs down and wraps around the spark plug lead plenty of times to ensure a healthy connection. I am going to try and cut off those little excess tabs once this thing is on and mounted. Or do I even slice it now? Just thinking out loud, guys, excuse me. I reckon I slice them off now. That's what I do once this is in. So I just got to push it into a little channel at the bottom of the timer box. There we go. Get in there, I tell ya. That's on. Oh, my tool is just dissolving here. Crap. So crap. There we go. Let's run this down to the spark plug lead now. All right.
once this is sort of finalised, it definitely will be go back with a bit of tape and tape up the points where it's up against the frame. So my understanding of these is try and get to the closest point to the end of the lead. Obviously I don't have a cap on, right? That's going to come later. Get the tightest coil you can. But I'm just going to, for now, ensure that it doesn't go anywhere. Now I'm going to start getting busy with the tight coils. And I've got a wee little zip tie that's going to hold everything sturdy for me. And I believe, as my understanding, the tighter I can get these coils, the closer to the tip, the better the chances of a healthy reading. Not much of a fisherman now, so I'm not too sure what to do. I'm gonna go back through this guy. I'm sure those of you who can tie nuts are probably throwing a stubby at the TV right now. It's good, isn't it? I'm gonna do that. And I want to do that through there. And I want to pull that tight. And I hope everything works well. How do you like your dog's breakfasts? I'll zip tie that. Little knot. And that bit there together. Pinch them up. And I'll put a zip tie at the end as well. So that last coil stays still. There we go. Schnippers. Snip. Snip. Okay, obviously the cap will go in there and bang, it's on the spark plug. That's a tight enough coil, I think. Held from that point, held from that point. Rightio. The old and the new. This was the clip that was on the new. That was wrong. So I've put the old one on. No, I'm not colourblind at all. That white one goes to the brown one. Yeah. Fingers crossed that works. Okay. Let's hope this is the answer to the problem. Oh. One ignition coil with the hopes that it is what I need. No, only one way to find out. So the whole front assembly of this motorcycle, all the way from the handlebars to the front wheel, forks, yokes, steer stem, the whole thing, brake caliper, brake adjuster mount thing, whatever it's called. That's all at Simon's at the moment, at International Tool Services. Hope I got that right, Si. But yeah, so he's sorting that out at the moment. So I said to Simon, I said, mate, make me a spring. Can you make me a spring? So he sorted me out with that. Now that's actually the internal axle sleeve getting machined there. It's very exciting,
the brake caliper. That's another whole box of, you know, rusty blades and spiders and scorpions and things that hurt you. But he's a smart enough dude. He says he can do it for me. Bless him. Such a legend. Thanks again, Si. Woohoo! Yeah, so that's really just the final piece of the puzzle. Not the final piece. The final piece of the puzzle to then, because I know it's a whole different ball game. I've got this bike that I've never heard run. Never. Like I said, I bought this thing, and old matey says, "Oh, there's an ignition coil on it, but it's not the right one," and blah 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 blah, whatever. So there's the whole getting to the point of trying to start this bike is its own beast. But you know, I'm happy that I'm quickly getting towards that point where it's time to put the motocross boot on and kick that thing over 474 times if need be. I'm prepared to do it. Whether my neighbours are prepared to take it, that's another point. But we'll burn that bridge when we get to it, people. So yeah, so this is, I suppose it's a wrap from here, isn't it? I'm going to bounce. Be safe and be happy. Peace out.